Hello all of you beautiful people, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and today I'm not going to make many friends because I'm going to basically tell you about party members from RPGs that kind of really stink, even though I know a few of them are definitely fan favourites, but I hope that you will understand and listen to what I have to say because some of these, while they look incredibly cool, they're just not as useful as you want them to be. So with this in mind, I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 terrible video game party members that always were left warming the bench. Number 10, Kaden Alenko, Mass Effect. Now, though there are a ton of potential squad members to choose from throughout the Mass Effect franchise, Kaden is by some measure the lamest of the lot. A prototypical generic white guy party member, Kaden is also painfully just a nothing teammate on the battlefield, incapable of doing much with anything more than just a passing adequacy. Really, the only solace is that the player is able to dispose of him in the first game, letting him sacrifice himself in order to save Ashley Williams, who, yes, she is a space racist and neither of them are good, but he's just so boring. In an ironic twist though, those who let Kaden live in the first game finally get rewarded for their mercy in Mass Effect 3, where Kaden returns with a more useful, beefed up set of biotic abilities, but whether it's been worth the wait, that's completely debatable. Number 9, Hope, Final Fantasy 13. The Final Fantasy franchise is such a vast enterprise that everyone has their passionate personal favourites and sworn off deplorables. But can we all just agree on something? The Final Fantasy XIII's Hope is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Before we even get to his combat readiness, Hope is the most prototypically irritating child RPG character. And despite having a sympathy-generating backstory involving his dead mother Nora, he's rendered unbearable due to his relentless, petulant whining. Even if you can forgive this due to his traumatic childhood, he's extremely weak in the battle stakes, especially in the earlier stages of the game. Ultimately, he becomes a consistent enough liability that many players simply decide against investing in him and instead ditch him at the first opportunity. Number 8, Lydia, The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Right, I know that a lot of people love Lydia, this is the thing, she's become a meme in her own right, but let's just talk about it for a split second. Now, as effective and annoying as all of the party members are on this list, none have proven quite as meme-worthy as Skyrim's Lydia. Despite looking like a battle-hardened warrior who would be incredibly useful in battle, Lydia is one of Skyrim's most infuriating followers, as beyond even her dryly sarcastic demeanour and charisma void of a personality, she's so bloody clumsy. Though Lydia is typically the first housecarl that players encounter, she just ignores your commands, in addition to blocking doorways, setting off traps, and running headlong into battles that she just isn't ready for. Now, this is definitely a result of the programming rather than the character, but still, god damn woman. As a result, she often proves more of a liability than an actual helping hand. Though dedicated players can indeed take advantage of her sizable health pool and level cap of 50, she's such a pain to be around that you'd be forgiven for quickly parting ways with her. Seriously, it is easier traveling alone. Number 7, Candy Corn, Costume Quest 2. There is objectively no more useless video game party member than Candy Corn in Double Fine's hysterical RPG satire Costume Quest 2. The Candy Corn costume is unable to attack during battles and just sits there during its turn while the game makes amusing comments about how utterly pointless it is. Now, some of these choice phrases include, Candy Corn is gonna sit this one out, it's time to look at Candy Corn, and Candy Corn wishes he was more like real corn. Ouch. It is of course a complete joke and therefore more tolerable than some of the actively terrible party members on this list, but what makes this annoying is that you kind of have to have Candy Corn in your party to 100% this game, because if you go through every battle in the game with Candy Corn in your party, you'll unlock the Hard Corn mode achievement for your bloody patience. Number 6, Cook and Mac, Lost Odyssey. Cult classic RPG Lost Odyssey boasts 2 off-putting child characters for the price of 1. Ooh, brilliant. Now, much like Final Fantasy XIII's Hope, the pair at least have some defense in the fact that they're literally kids, but even so, the ear-assaulting voice acting and cringeworthy dialogue ensure that these two are a pain each and every time that they open their mouths. In combat terms, they simply pale in comparison to just about every other option at your disposal, especially considering how poorly they fare defensively. I mean, they're just kids after all, so of course they take a battering, so why would you include them in a battle? Mac in particular has incredibly low survivability, and given that the bulk of their abilities can be done better by the game's other characters, any incentive to retain them quickly lessens as you progress into the game's tougher sections. But weirdly enough, they do have some defenders out there in the fandom, but unless you have a major tolerance for grating kids in your JRPGs, you should just give this pair a wide berth. Number 5, Yoghurt or Yoghurt, Shining Force. Much like Candy Corn in Costume Quest 2, Shining Force Yoghurt, or Yoghurt if you're playing the American release, is a joke character, albeit one which can actually deal some damage. Well, 1 HP to be precise. A tiny helmet-wearing hamster-like creature who can join your party, Yoghurt may be immediately appealing from a design perspective, but the fact that he can't make a dent during battle unfortunately makes him fundamentally, objectively useless beyond boosting your morale by raising the occasional smile. Players can't do anything to raise his stats either, so he's effectively a waste of a character slot, and all he's really good for is absorbing 1 hit in the place of somebody who actually has actual fighting abilities. In the event that Yoghurt does score the killing blow on an enemy though, he'll give up a Yoghurt ring, which will allow the wearer to resemble Yoghurt. Amusing, yes, but completely purposeless where progress is concerned. Number 4. Preston Garvey, Fallout 4. Much like the Elder Scrolls series, Fallout gives players a large swathe of companions to choose from, the merits of whom will forever be fiercely debated amongst the fandom. Yet precious few will run to the defense of Fallout 4's Preston Garvey, the motor-mouth member of the Minutemen, who is not only a total dullard but extremely ineffective in combat. When he's not busy hassling you to tackle the unending ream of randomly generated Radiant quests, he never shuts up talking about the Minutemen. I know, I'm the bloody general. Shut up. Plus, he has all the combat efficiency of a cardboard cutout. Getting Preston to actually offer up a helping hand during battles is a frustrating chore as well, because he'll far more likely just stand around doing nothing or even walk off for no discernible reason. When you've got so many other better written characters in this game, why would you ever choose him? And it sucks because he's a nice guy, I can tell that. I'd go for a pint with him, but just... Preston. Number 3. Magikarp Pokemon. Now, I know that it seems a bit harsh picking on Magikarp because yes, he's a little fish and a bit of a joke character, and yes, he does obviously turn into the very useful Gyarados, or Gyarados, depending on how you want to pronounce it, but still, it is pathetically weakened. Less said about that splash attack, the better, mate. Plus, the fact that you have to slog it out with this creature to get anywhere, level 20 in fact, simply just, it just grinds my gears. Hell, even the official Pokemon YouTube page has a hilarious song dedicated to Magikarp's thoroughly weirdly endearing lameness. I suggest you go give it a listen. Number 2, Kimari Ronzo, Final Fantasy X. Listen, right, I know there are going to be a load of people jumping down my throat who is going to be like, oh, I love Kimari. Kimari's the best. He's my first owner. Just chill out. Chill for a second and listen. Because yes, he is a cool character. He's got a cool design. I like his motive. I like the fact that he twats his brothers around and he's got a half horn thing. I like that. That's really cool. But just for a split second, take a look at his sphere grid placement. What do you see? You see nothing. And the reason why is because he's meant to be the jack of all trades of the group. He's meant to be able to specialize in a little bit of everything. But you know what that makes for in an RPG? Not that great an experience. Because yes, you can have a little bit of pepper here and there, but I want the full-on spice. Give me a full-on tank, give me a full-on healer, black mage, white mage, a summoner, a blitzball wielder. Like, you know what I mean? And for those reasons, Kimari just falls short of being actually useful. And remember, this list isn't about personal preferences, design choices, and the like. It is about their usefulness in combat. And Kimari just unfortunately comes in a little bit short. Still, he does look cool. And number 1, Zeke, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Though Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Zeke certainly has his fans, he's also a completely perfunctory party member, introduced far too late in the game, at which point players will have already had their party figured out and likely won't want to mess with a working system. Given that Zeke's abilities can be matched by numerous other characters, particularly protagonist Rex, he's also frustratingly prone to death despite the strength of his attacks, so you couldn't really be blamed for leaving him on the sidelines from minute 1. Sadly, in this case, it's not that Zeke isn't an interesting or entertaining character to be around, but simply that poor timing and redundancy combines to make him unappealing as a party member pick. If Zeke were a natural tank, he might have been a neater fit, but instead he feels like a character still searching for his own defined role. I feel sad for him. And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 terrible video game party members always left warming the bench. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. I tell you what, because I've had a go at some of your favorite party members, why don't you do the same? Put down in the comments below who you think is the least effective member of the WhatCulture team, who you would always leave on the bench. I bet it'll be me. I bet it'll be me, just sitting there, just shiny domed egg, just doing his own thing. It's only fair, right? And remember, at the end of the day, it's just a bit of fun, these lists, so don't take it too personally. But still, if you do want to argue why Kimari is the best character of all, then you can go over to Twitter and follow me at RetroJ0, or you can come and shout at me over at Live and Let's Dice. It'd be great to see you over there regardless. Hope you have a fantastic day, whatever you get up to, my friends. Treat yourself with love and respect because you goddamn well deserve it. Make yourself the party member that always makes it out to the front of battle and smash some heads in. Big love from me to you, my friend. And as always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.